welcome to Just Sayin. We are thought-provoking, inspiring, and very opinionated. I would like to first say that I'm very grateful to be with all of you today. I am in the presence of some fabulous women and a wonderful production staff. We have lots on tap for you today, and that is a pun I intended to say. So we're going to get right to it, okay? Cindy, you're going to talk about the beverage of the day that's in our wine glasses.
Sure, so we always like to have a beverage. So today we went a little healthy because later we're going to have something, I think still healthy, but fun healthy. So anyway, this is the biggest thing going on right now is these herb-flavored waters. So this is basil, cucumber, and lemon or infused water. The cucumbers and the basil are from my garden. And it's been marinating all night long, so it's healthy, it's wonderful. Yeah, all night. You could do it as long as you want. I mean, you can put it for days in the refrigerator.
The popularity of these infused drinks are really growing.
And whatever herbs you like. I mean, if you like tarragon or oregano, whatever. I mean, it sounds crazy when you think, how would that taste? But you guys are tasting it.
Yeah.
And
I love the basil.
Yeah.
Basil.
Really
I would never
good.
have thought it would have been too strong, but it's not.
Yeah, no,
Not at all.
It's good.
Very good.
you can do
really,
basil
really
with
good.
blueberries and strawberries. I mean, you can do all different kinds of fun
It's
stuff.
very
so-
healthy.
And it's healthy, yeah.
And the fruits and vegetables of the garden.
Yes.
Yep. Okay. Well, we're going to get right to our hot topics today. We have heard recently on the news, if a friend tells you a secret in confidence, do you tell your spouse?
No.
I don't have a
Since I
spouse
don't have a
anymore.
Or significant other, yes, I tell my spouse.
I think it depends on the relationship and also who the friend is. I mean, I think we had talked about it once before, where if it's a friend who really doesn't know, your spouse, and maybe you could
So the
maybe
friend
say
and the
something.
spouse don't travel in the same circles.
Yeah, but otherwise, I think if it's a close-knit friend of the family, and you don't want to take the chance of a spouse saying something, quite innocently, maybe on the golf course or something.
But what
I
happens
think
if
to
you
respect
find
them.
out that your friend's husband is cheating on your friend? Do you tell your friend?
Oh, like that kind of secret?
That depends.
Yeah, that's the nature of the secret.
What is
It
the
depends
right
on the
thing
nature of the
to do?
secret, but it's also, I look at it. It's not my story to tell. If someone comes to me in strict confidence and says, "I've got something to share with you. Please don't tell anybody, not even your husband," then as a friend, I'm obliged to either say, "I don't think I can do that," or honor that
Honor the
request.
confidence.
And I'm very, people just don't practice enough discretion.
I don't
these
know,
days.
but I think if it's a cheating thing, I think the wife needs to know. I've been there.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah.
It's a tough decision,
Yeah.
and-
I
Well, I
agree with
said to you
that.
guys, I love my husband to death, but I don't, I value my friendships
Right.
with people. So, and plus, obviously I have clients, so that,
Yeah, being a
without
lawyer,
question.
yeah.
Well, but I feel like when people talk to me, it's our thing. But I did have this friend of mine who is also friends with my husband. We're all good friends. And so she'll tell me things, and then she's like, "Don't tell Rich." And I'm like, "All right, whatever." And I wouldn't. And then she tells him the same thing. Now he tells me stuff, which is great. He's like, "Well, did you know, blah, 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 she did this?" And I'm like, "No, I didn't know that," And I'm like, "You did," she does that all the time. So, but no, I and I have to tell you, he tells me there are friends that he has that he doesn't share, because I think it's important for the integrity of that relationship. And I don't, but I have friends who say to me they're upset their husband or significant other doesn't tell them things, and I'm like, but they're protecting the integrity of that relationship.
Right.
Plus, it can create a gossip circle,
Yeah.
and that's just a
Yeah.
whole other
Right.
issue. And frankly, my husband
agree.
doesn't care enough about what my friends are doing.
Well, that's what I was going to say. No, they don't
he
care
really
enough
doesn't
to know about this stuff.
No,
It's not his issue.
that's it.
Yeah.
And and speaking of secrets, something you wanted to share, Dodie. Do you want to share your little dating secret, or can we expose that? So it's not a
Sure,
secret
we'll
anymore?
expose this. My
No problem.
dating
Doing
life
your
took
puns today.
yes.
Expose this. Quite literally.
When you guys hear what happened, my dating life took a very interesting turn over the weekend. I guess about a month ago, a gentleman that I had met a year and a half ago, briefly, one evening at a dance, had a really nice time, but never connected again. He reconnected through a dating website. And I realized who he was and was very happy to hear from him, and thought, okay, this is great. We're going to go out on a date. He said, yeah, you want to go out? So we made a date. The next message I got from him was, you're the answer to my prayers. And you guys know me. My book is all about this. When my gut like screams at me, I have to pay attention to that. That one comment
Put the cart before the horse.
screamed, okay? But I thought, you know, we had a nice time when we met a year and a half ago. Let me play this out. Let's see how this goes, because I thought maybe it would be, you know, would be a good relationship. We went out 3 or 4 times. No intimacy, not even a kiss, okay? Just sharing everything here, okay? And it just got to the point where I just figured it wasn't.
This is good. Go.
It just wasn't going to go forward.
I'm waiting.
So we had a conversation about a week ago, and the first comment I asked him when we were talking was, so how was your day today? And he said, well, I went to a naturalist resort, and I thought to myself, oh no, let me think. I think I know what that is, but I'm not positive. Before I could even ask,
organic food.
it wasn't. It was organic, but not food. And he said, you know what that is? That's a nudist resort. And I said, oh, okay. And he said, you know, if we went out on another date, I was going to surprise you and take you there. And my gut screamed again. And I thought, now I know this is not the right thing for me. But we went on in the conversation. I pretty much shared, you know, I'm done. This is not the right combination for me. A week goes by, and Saturday morning, I got a text from him, and it was a picture of him in the nude.
Happy Saturday.
He said, yes, he said, just, you know, sharing nice, I'm working on my short game. But I do have to say, he was in a golf position, you know, ready to take a swing, and his private parts were hidden by his hands. So
I want to see the picture.
Okay, no, I'm not showing the picture.
That's mortifying.
Maybe I'll put it up
Public
on Facebook.
TV.
Check our Facebook.
So
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
I thought, now I really know this is totally not the right thing for me, but
Well, this could be for a new book. Like,
Totally.
work for a new book.
Yeah.
Totally.
Like, yeah, new
Yeah.
theme.
totally.
Yeah, you can't not
Totally.
use this
I
material.
have so many dating disasters that I can
Yeah,
put
you gotta
in
write a
there.
whole book.
Well, write a book.
I could write a
What
book
is it
this.
about men and sex, and especially as they get older, Patty?
I guess I'm in the age group to know.
No, it's your business.
It's my
your
business.
business.
You know,
It's in your care.
I have a home care agency, and we're working with a lot of people with dementia and Alzheimer's and all of that. And what happens is the inhibitions seem to be taken away, and the men still want to be there, you know, and they're there. And sometimes they actually go after my caregivers, and luckily I have caregivers that are very professional, and they just redirect and whatnot. But yeah, it's an interesting thing.
And on the note of uninhibited people, we're going to have to take a break.
And a great guest coming up.
And we do. We have a great guest coming up. She's a fabulous woman, and I look forward to speaking with her on air.
See you in a minute.
Welcome back to Just Sayin. I have the privilege today of introducing a phenomenal woman. She was a teenage international model. She's a very successful business owner, and she is one of the most resilient women I know, and I am happy to call her my very dear friend. I would like you to meet Marilyn Dayton. Marilyn, welcome to Just Sayin. Welcome.
Exciting.
We're going to get right to this, okay?
Absolutely.
First,
Sure, go
I
ahead.
want to say a pleasure to be with all of you wonderful girls.
Thank you.
Congratulations on your show. I love it. You're doing a great job. Just saying.
Just saying.
Just saying. We want to learn from you, Mary.
Yes, and you have quite a journey, and you started a blog called From Glam to Gram.
You betcha.
Got it? Did I say it right? I had to
Yeah.
make sure that came out correctly. To talk about your journey. So why did you start the blog?
Everybody kept telling me, Marilyn, you got to write a book. You got to write a book. And I say, yeah, everybody has a book in them. But the more stories I kept telling, because they're just stories from my life, big deal, right? But they're interesting. So I started the blog, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. And one of my friends, who's also a client, came up with a name, from glam to gram because I was glamorous once, but well, hey, I don't look bad.
You're so glamorous. Yeah.
So I was going to say we should explain
Yeah.
the meaning behind glam to
That's
glam
right.
is you were a top superstar
At one
international
time.
model in the 50s and the 60s.
Yes, I was.
And now, you're a grandmother, and a lot happened in between.
A lot. Up and down. You know what a heartbeat looks like when it goes bing, 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 up, and then down, and then it goes bing, bing, bing. I've had that happen. I told you that. I had that happen many times in my life.
She's fabulous.
So there's lessons there that we can
Yeah.
learn because of your ups and downs,
Right.
and which is why why
Oh, of
you.
course.
And I will
Got
share lessons.
Right.
Sure, if they help.
So you
I'm
started a
happy to.
marketing firm.
I started. How far back do you want to go?
Well, why don't we go back to the beginning of the modeling thing?
Okay, I was born.
Here
no.
you were. Here you were,
I
a
was
top
12.
teenage model.
I was 12.
But-
and
But
yeah,
you had to
but-
find the money to go to college. So
Yeah,
tell us about what
okay.
happened there.
So I was making $60 an hour. This was in the late
lot of money.
50s, early 60s. $60 an hour. The top models were making maybe, the other top models were making maybe 70, 75 at the most, like Susie Parker, Maud Adams, Wilhelmina, who was a model before she opened her agency. And so I was making a lot of money, and I was very, very busy every weekend during the holidays, summer. I wanted to keep it from I wanted a normal life. We all want a normal life. And I was getting marriage proposals in the mail and stuff. You know how that was. Anyway, it was hard work. So I made a lot of money. And guess what? My family bought a house, they bought a car, they sent my brother to college. So it came time for me to say, well, I want to stop modeling and I want to get ready for college. Oh, you can't do that. You can't do that. And I said, okay, I'll work for another year.
The lifestyle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was
So-
pre-child labor laws.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well,
No. Yeah, I
not
mean,
really.
well,
that was
yeah.
the 20s.
but I mean, no,
Not that
but I
old.
mean, as far as television is concerned.
Oh, yeah,
Because
yeah,
it wasn't
that-
until like Patty Duke in the late 1960s
Yes, you're right.
that they changed it where you can't touch children's money working in the business. In entertainment.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's what I meant.
But I was a minor, you know.
Yeah,
So,
right,
so anyway, it came time for me. That year was up, and I was getting ready to go to college. We had no money for me, so I had to find money, which I did. And I went to college.
So you found money.
I found the money.
You went to college, and
Yes,
you
I did.
graduated with what type of degree?
A major.
Marketing?
I was very serious. I did not go to college for my MRS degree. That was what we said back
We
then.
got it. We got it.
So I got a major in business and marketing and a minor in journalism because this was Syracuse University. They had just started the new house for communications. And I knew I wanted to go in the ad agency world because I learned a lot being in front of the
Yeah, you're
camera,
familiar with it.
and which I did. I ended up going into, my latest blog is The Real Mad Men. The show Mad Men, they got it right. They studied, they
lived
got
it.
it right. I lived it. I was there. I was there in the 60s. I was interning with David Ogilvy, the guru of advertising in New York City. And I also interned with Leo Burnett. He was my next one. And so I learned from the best.
From the
So
best.
I started an ad agency of my own.
And so now you build up this successful ad agency, and then what did your second husband do?
Oh, yeah. Well,
I'm talking resilience here. This
yeah,
woman is
okay.
resilient.
This is another resilience. The first one was when I had to find college money.
Right.
This one, my second husband, who was an abuser, just not good. I threw him out because he put me in the hospital when I came home. I found him shaking my daughter. I said, you know, that's it. You're out of here. And he turned around and emptied all the bank accounts. I had an ad agency. I had a lot of money in the bank. And he emptied it all out and disappeared. So I went, okay, boom, here I am again.
Yeah, there we
Now
go.
you're starting
Yeah.
over. Yeah.
So I had 2 kids, single parent, and I had to, so I got a job. I ran another ad agency for somebody else. It was a lot easier. So yeah, bounced back.
Yep.
And then my third husband, it was not a good situation after 15 years, so I left, started all over again. Beep, bong.
Are you married now?
Yeah.
No, never.
Never.
Well, I live to regret that. I don't know.
Yeah.
But no. Thank you.
Never say never.
Never say never. I know I heard that.
So explain to us. So you moved after your third husband. Did you relocate or did you
I
start
relocated
life?
to Connecticut.
Great, okay.
And I didn't know anybody but my family at that time.
Okay.
And you don't start, I came from the publishing world. I ran a publishing company in Atlanta for 12 years. And so I had to start all over again. So
And what was your starting point here in Connecticut?
actually, it was real estate because I didn't know anybody. I didn't know the region. I said, I used to invest in real estate. That was my cash cow for my business. So I'll just get into real estate, meet people, get to know the area. For a couple of years, I did that and started slowly my marketing agency.
So now you have a successful business as a marketing expert, professional, digital media, etc. What would you advise people who have a business and want to grow it? What would be something that you would advise them?
Okay, first of all, sit down and describe who you are, what you want to do. Your background is important, your training is important, but your passion has to be there. Whatever industry you pick, research the industry, make sure that it's not going downhill, make sure the digital work isn't taking over that, and then find your competition and learn from them. That's the very first thing you need to do.
Okay, and tell us the name of your business.
It is Marketing Biz, B-I-Z, Professionals,
Okay.
because that's who we are.
Yeah, and we're still working on our website, but we're going to have a link to all of our guests' websites so they can go to justsayinShow.com, and we'll have that information there. And I mean, I think one of my takeaways that I take from meeting and learning about you, Marilyn, is really that you can't define yourself. You shouldn't be a victim of your circumstance, because you are such an example of not being a victim and just saying, okay, what can I do next? You have to look with blinders on. You have to look forward.
You cry a little first.
Yeah,
Get that
That's
done.
okay.
Get that out of the way.
That's okay.
And then say, okay.
Even
let's
a tantrum now and then is okay,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah.
You know, that just, it helps you refocus.
We want to thank you for being
Yeah,
here. You're
thank
so
you.
inspirational
Thank
and
you so
motivational
much.
to
It's
us.
fun.
And it's also never too late to reinvent yourself. I think that's the right
Exactly.
point. Yeah.
Exactly.
So there's no age, associated with anything. So
That's right. We won't talk about ages here.
no,
No.
not at all.
All right. Well, again, thank you so much for being
My
here.
pleasure.
Thank
And
you.
when we
Pleasure.
return, we have
Enjoy the
a
wine.
fabulous guest
Wonderful.
on tap. We'll see you in a minute.
Welcome back to Just Saying. We're very happy to have you with us. I wanted to go over quickly some mailbag items that we got. Just this past week, we had posted whether or not you like red wine or white wine. And one of the surprising factors is most of the responses came back as red wine. And that's something to be said. But today,
It's
instead of
healthy.
wine,
It's
it's healthy. Healthy. Red wine is healthy.
Antioxidants.
And something else that's healthy today, we have some guests here with us. We have Darcy Dugas and Kim Vigliotti of Duvig Brewery in Branford. And they're here to share their story with us. So ladies, tell us a little bit about your story and how it came about.
Welcome, by the way.
Thank
Welcome.
Being here.
Thanks for having us.
Can we start?
Yes.
Darcy and I are neighbors. We live across the street from each other, and we met each other about 4 years ago. And we became friendly and shared that our husbands both were home brewers, and our husbands became friendly as a result. And both she and I had always been urging our husbands to open up their own businesses brewing beer, but mine thought I was crazy, and I don't know that hers was totally sold on the idea either. So we started talking, and we started to say, well, what if we did this together? Maybe we can convince them to go into business together. And then, so we kind of started to play around with this idea and, mention it to our husbands who still weren't buying it. And then the blizzard of 2013 snowed everybody in, and there was nowhere for them to go. And we were stuck at home with very little to drink other than our own home brew beer, and among other things. And eventually got them open to the idea after a few drinks, maybe more than a few, to doing this. And so from there, we started to do the legwork to launch this business. And about a year and a half later, we were in business.
So the key is to get your husbands drunk, and they'll do whatever you want,
Sure.
right? Okay, that's a good thing. All right, so tell me, because we were talking a little bit, Darcy, tell me, you know, first of all, I applaud the fact that you're women owning this business with the support of your husbands. Tell me what's been some of the biggest challenges in opening this type of business, but a business in general, particularly in the state of Connecticut with some of the fiscal challenges we're facing.
I think initially what we found what we ran into was a little bit of trouble actually getting financing. We spent over a year securing a loan, and we got lots of rejection letters from banks. And so, you know, Kim was tireless in seeking out different sources for lending. Dan went to several different banks, community and large banks, and finally we were referred to a community investment corporation.
CIC?
Yes.
Yes, that's how I started my business
Yeah,
through
they
that.
were excellent to work with, and we finally 13 months after making the decision to go for it, we signed on the loan papers. But at that point, we were 3 months away from running out of our starting capital, and we really needed to be in production inside of 3 months. So we, it was a hustle for those last 3 months, but we finally got into production, opened the doors on May 14th.
So you're hustling and you're trying to do all this legality and loans and family, because we're friends on Shoreline Mom's Facebook, and you know, you're busy and where are we going with the park and what are we doing, and I got to deliver beer samples. So like, I guess how busy and crazy that is. Yeah, it's awesome.
And we opened, and I was 9 months pregnant.
Oh
so,
my gosh.
you know, and the day we opened, I had my third child. So it was crazy. At one point,
It
we
was
were like,
crazy,
maybe
and-
this is a crazy idea.
But Dan was late getting to work that day. I almost.
But you know, you balance it. You figure it out. I mean, this is something we had both dreamed about, and you know, our husbands were on board, and you know, we weren't going to give up, and we kind of make it work. It's a family affair. We bring our kids to work when we have to.
Yep.
Christopher, my little one, has been in the Bjorn while I've been washing kegs or bringing samples. 2 weeks after having him, I was at a pub in Guilford with samples of beer that I was trying to sell them, and they're like, this is an odd scene. I've never seen a woman peddling beer with a two-week-old baby, but you know, we were determined, and that beer is one of the first bars that carried us and still has us on tap.
So tell us what the first beer we're drinking now, which is this.
This is our cream ale.
This is our cream ale. The cream ale is our lightest beer. It's our best seller. It's the ale version of a Pilsner. The origin of it was, it's easier to ferment an ale than it is a lager at warmer temperatures. So people did this when they couldn't have a refrigerated fermentation process. So it's actually just supposed to be the ale version.
It's very smooth.
It is smooth, thank you.
It feels like it's really healthy.
It is. So I gotta tell you though, I was never a beer drinker until I told you the story when I went to Disney and I was in Germany and they introduced beer to me. So I was like, oh, I like this. But I always thought of beer as, you know, a man's drink with sports and beer wings and things, or buffalo wings. But now women are drinking it. Now what's that, like, what do you attribute that to?
It's so trendy now.
It is, but more than, like, why, what do you think?
I think there's a lot more varieties than when, you know, now, especially being local, the whole trend is local. So craft breweries are booming in the state. You know, it's you know, people want to drink and support locally made products, and I think, you know, women especially are, you know, in support of that. And you know, I think there's a lot more varieties than there had been out there years ago. You know, if you go to many craft breweries in Connecticut, you're never going to drink the same beer. Even the same style, it'd be a little bit different at each brewery. So
So
there's
the
more to
flavoring is
offer.
not just your
Yeah,
bud
and
thing.
how and the business that you bring to local bars and restaurants is awesome because you do tap takeovers and you're offering different flavors, and so it's a joint marketing effort that I applaud you for.
And I've seen you out at every event that I'm going to.
Yeah.
You're everywhere.
It's awesome.
You're in a
Which
lot of
I know
places.
it takes a lot of energy and a lot of time and a lot of samples to give away.
So what's the next one we're going to drink?
The next one is our pale ale. It's a traditional pale ale as opposed to an IPA. So the difference is it's not quite as bitter. It's a little lower in alcohol than what you would encounter with an IPA. It's at just under 5%. So with many of our beers, would you like some? Okay. We try to keep our alcohol a little bit lower, 5% or lower, so that you can enjoy them.
It's got like a kick.
It's got a
does.
nice, what is that?
You taste some grapefruit.
Yeah, grapefruit. That's what I taste.
Yeah.
But that's all from the hops. We use all
Samantha, it's really healthy. I can lose weight with this. So let's get our co-host in here to taste this one. You gotta taste this. Is good.
This is definitely.
People don't realize though is there's nothing added.
Grab
There's
it,
no
grab it,
fruit
grab it.
added to our
Grab it.
beer. The flavor
Yeah.
all comes from the
hops.
hops, the
You wanna
malts that
try.
we use, the grains.
So how can people
fun.
get the beer now? Because you have a tasting room, right? You could buy it there at the facility.
Right. So currently we sell in these they're called growlers. We sell in 32 ounce, which are these small bottles, and then we sell 64 ounce growlers. You can come right to our front room when we're open, and you can purchase from our front room in these style bottles. And then you can also find us on tap at, oh God, I think we're probably in 100, 150 restaurants throughout the state of Connecticut,
okay.
sometimes rotating.
That is amazing.
And also, we're expanding. So we're in the process of growing right now. We're doubling in size, and we're hoping to have a line of cans and bottles within the next 6 months.
Well, they're going to provide us a list of at least some places throughout the state where you can go and try the beer, as well as a location, and we're going to put it on our Facebook page so folks can see that.
Great.
Because we want everybody to be able to taste this incredibly awesome beer. It's really
This
cool.
is really, really
This is
unique. It's really good.
really good.
And tell us about the name, Duvig beer.
My last name is Dugas. Her last name is Vigliotti. So
Darcy likes to call it the Brangelina.
Right, too big.
I want our audience to know that it is called Duvig
Yes,
beer, and
yes.
it's available in a lot of different locations.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. Yep.
It's delicious.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
you.
No, thank
Oh,
you.
it's
This is
a pleasure.
Well, this is fun.
Yeah, it
We've
is.
had quite a lot of activity on tap today. I know. I'm the pun. I'm done. I'm done with it now.
Gonna roll it back.
And we had a lot of great inspirational tips, I think, that were shared today.
Yep. We learned a lot of wonderful things. One of which is follow your dream, make it happen.
Absolutely.
Right. Don't give up.
Yep. I was gonna say, be the little engine that could. You never
Be
give
a
up.
legend that could.
And get your significant other drunk and you can do whatever you want.
Always try something new.
And watch out for those texts you might get from dating.
Follow your gut.
Follow your gut. That's right.
And
Follow
as
your gut.
Marilyn taught us to, never be afraid to reinvent yourself.
That's right.
So thank you, everybody,
you.
for joining us.
Special thank you to Marilyn.
We are just saying.